Yo, what is good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Rocky Top Ramble. Today on the list, we got SEC scores around week 6. Also, some big games we're going to be talking about. We're going to be going to a couple SEC's teams' future schedules and looking at those, seeing how they're going to end up throughout the year. After that, we're going to go to the Texas A&M Tennessee game that's going to be in Neyland Stadium on this Saturday, giving our thoughts on that. Make sure we're going and hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and throw a comment on what you think the score is going to be on Saturday night. We really appreciate y'all's support. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, of course, because that's where you're watching it. And y'all, enjoy the episode. Ladies and gentlemen, all fans of all ages, we're here live. Yes, I said live with the first ever live Rocky Top Ramble presented by the one and only Little Debbie's. Soup, let them see the Little Debbie. There it is.
Oatmeal cream pie.
Take a
Bad,
bite of that cream pie.
bad day to be oatmeal cream pie. You ready for
Bad
this?
day. Oh my god. I was not expecting that one. That was a little one biter. But my goodness, what a week of college football. Tennessee undefeated against the bye week. We're going on how many years of beating the bye week? I mean, this is crazy. Shout out Butch Jones. but first off, we'll just do a little
I
introduction
expect
here.
I expect Butch to pay me a little bit of that buyout money we had to pay him, and we're still paying him
Yeah,
just for that
We got
shout
it
out.
back in Jeremy Pruitt.
yeah. No free
We got
shout
all that money
outs.
back in Jeremy Pruitt. So
Yeah, you hear us shouting anybody out? It's not for free, unless Little Debbie. Christian, how you feeling? How did the weekend go?
it was a fun weekend. I went to Nashville for a night.
Oh,
Had a blast. Had a
oh,
blast down in Nash Vegas.
yeah,
Hadn't been down there. Hadn't been to Broadway in a long time. So got to go down there and see some buddies, run into some friends, and man, it
nice.
was a lot of fun.
See Will Levis down there?
I did not.
Oh,
I'm very happy I did not see him.
I've heard he's
But
a regular on Broadway.
that wouldn't surprise me. I also heard that Morgan Wallen stole his girlfriend. So I don't know which one's true.
Oh God, no, no. Sleep. How was your weekend?
It was good. A lot of football. Went to a wedding Saturday.
Okay.
Um,
I thought you don't go to fall weddings.
I had to. I'm glad I
Oh,
did. I'm glad I did though, because it was a good time. Got to watch one of my buddies break his ankle. Shout out John Beeson.
ah,
Um, it was a good time after the wedding was over. Titans lost Sunday, big bummer, but we're on that, win loss, win loss, win loss. So next week, guaranteeing a win. Go ahead and lock it in. My
yeah,
lock of the week, Titans win. So
yeah. Titans to cover, not just to win. I mean, we look really good and really bad, and there's no in between. Um, but I guess let's get right into the week 6 of football here of college football. We had the Red River Showdown, Texas versus Oklahoma, where Oklahoma, I don't know if you boys watched that, but that was a great game, first of all. And Oklahoma, Gabriel led a big drive there at the end of the game to win it. What did you think about that game, Christian? Did you watch it?
I got to watch a little bit of it. I watched some on the old McAfee podcast.
Uh,
Always a big fan of McAfee, but man, just both those teams, pretty good football teams, and you put that together inside of the place of where they play at, and then on top of the fair being there at that time and
that
all of that stuff, it makes for a
was
great
pretty
college
cool.
football game.
That was super cool seeing all the
Yeah,
fair outside of the event there in Dallas. That was really cool. So, do you watch that game?
100%. Brent Venables' defense looking fantastic. Gabriel did a great job leading that offense against Texas. And as I say, year in and year out, Texas, in fact, not back. Will never be back until they admit that they are not the real UT. That they have the second, if not third, best orange in college football, and that without Tennessee, they would be basically North Mexico.
They should be appreciative of the real UT. Us volunteers. But yeah, that was a great game. That was an awesome drive there at the end. What'd y'all think about the decision to kick it there by Starkeesian? It was like 4th and 3. They had like a minute. I think it was like a minute 30, minute 40 left on the clock after they kicked it, and they were on like their no, they were on Oklahoma's like 41, I think, something like that, something around those areas, and it's a 4th and 3.
Did they
Vince
make it?
made the field goal, but gave Oklahoma the ball back, who'd been scoring all day with a minute 40 left on the clock.
I'm never a fan. The I'm never a fan of taking the points. I'm always wanting to push it, especially in the fourth down that much in college football.
Yeah,
I never want to just sit there and take the points. I think that you got to trust your team and go at it.
yeah. I guess his thought process was like, if he doesn't get the 4th down, then they only got to get 20 yards to beat him. But still, I mean, I would have definitely. I think I would have went for it on the 4th and 3. This is a pretty long field goal. Like it was I think it was a 50 something yarder, 40 something yarder. Christian, what would you have done?
Yep. I mean, that's a tough spot to be in, but I think if I watched, like I said, I watched bits and pieces of that game. So the them getting stopped on for 4 downs on like the 1 yard line
Yeah,
down there in like the red zone probably had a lot to weigh into that decision,
yeah,
if I was to
that's
guess.
true.
Because so I mean, I'm kind of with him on taking the points there because you don't want to give them if anything. If you're not going to take the points, you may were they down or up at that point? Because I don't remember.
It was tied.
Or yeah, you may even try to go and do like act like you're going to go for it, and then have your dang quarterback punt it down there to the one and make them go 99 yards
Yeah,
to see if they can beat you with that much time, or you may get a safety or a 3 and out or whatever.
yeah.
But
Well, they got 3 out of it, so I guess it wasn't wasted. And hindsight's 2020. Like,
exactly,
but I don't know if I'm in that situation as a coach. I mean, I don't. They usually say if you're the underdog, you go for things like that, and I wouldn't have like Texas Oklahoma is evenly matched, so I don't know. I think that's
yeah.
just lack of trust in his offense to get 3 yards. Because I know if Josh Heupel's out there, he's keeping the ball in his hands as long as he can. That's for sure.
But
Um,
let's go on to the next biggest coaching blunder of the weekend. I'll let you start that off, Tyler. I just want to really talk about uh, the stupidest move of all time.
oh, the Miami. Oh no, yeah, Miami with 38 seconds left ran another play instead of taking a knee, and then
34
34 seconds. 38, 34, they're both, if you knee it, you win the game. Like, you legit just win the game if you take a knee. And instead of doing that, they snapped it with like 6 on the play clock and ran the ball and fumbled the ball and then proceeded to give up 80 yards on the next 2 plays. And one was for a touchdown. It was the worst. God, that was the
Mario
worst thing I've
Mario
seen in a
Cristobal
long time.
Mario Cristobal should be fired immediately, left on the tarmac. But and I'm not talking like fire him. I'm talking like in the most humiliating, public shaming way of firing him. Put the man, I mean, in the middle of the street of Miami and let people throw rocks at him. I mean, I don't understand how you lose a game like that. People are calling it the biggest coaching blunder of all time. And I felt bad for the guy until I realized this is not just the first time he's done it. He did it when he was coaching at Oregon versus Stanford.
Oh
Did the
no.
exact same thing. A minute left on the clock. It's first down. What do you got to do? All you got to do is kneel it 3 times. You don't even have to kneel it 3 times. You just kneel it twice. He runs the ball. Stanford ends up winning the game. He's done it twice now. It is
Get
the
him out of town.
worst coaching. Oh, get him out of the country. Send him back to wherever the crystal balls come from.
Dude, that
That
was
is
bad.
that's an idiotic move on all accounts. 'Cause I'm pretty sure Georgia Tech didn't have a timeout either.
No,
It'd have
they
been
didn't.
different if
They didn't.
it'd have been different if they had a timeout, but they couldn't stop the clock.
Yeah.
So why? I mean, in that situation, everybody in the whole entire country knows if they run the ball right here, that Georgia Tech's not going to try to tackle the guy. The only thing they're doing is trying to rip the football out.
Yeah.
That's the only hope that they have.
It's
I mean, that's just
bad.
ignorant. You could put any high school coach in the country, and they wouldn't do that.
You'd put a Cutters coach out there, and they wouldn't do that.
I mean, it's crazy.
I mean,
My
10-year-olds.
my 2-month-old son knows kneel the football. I mean, he's crying. He's crying over here, thinking about Mario Cristobal still coaching this week.
Dude, that was so bad, dude. I can't believe that even happened. Like at that level and at that type of school for something like that to happen. And you know what's the worst part about it is like those players on that team, they just got to be checked. Like they think their coach is a dumbass now. Like that's just it's that simple. Like they are not gonna believe in anything he calls, any of his philosophies anymore. I mean, whenever you mess up that bad, there's heavy repercussions for it, and it should be getting fired. But I mean, that culture's gonna go way down, way quick, and I got a feeling the transfer portals going to be popping out of Miami. The University of where do you want to go now? Let's talk about that LSU Missouri game. Did y'all watch that one any? I had that one on at the same time as the Red River Showdown. Pretty dang good game.
Dinkowitz is still an idiot.
Yeah. Shout out Missouri's quarterback for throwing pick six into the game. Got Tim Tom on his lock of the week. Boom. LSU -6. It hit. But yeah, LSU pulls the top one out. LSU guys, and I mean, we don't know how good Missouri is or how good LSU is. I don't guess, but I'm thinking LSU's not very good this year. Because I mean, if they were the team they were last year, I feel like they would beat this Missouri team at least by 2 scores. And that game was pretty much a 3-point game if it hadn't been for that pick six. So what y'all think about the game?
Missouri is the second worst team in the SEC East. LSU is the second best team in the SEC West. And both of them are very bad, and still, in my opinion. Jaden Daniels, on the other hand, is a great college quarterback. Fantastic.
I think so as well. He's great.
Grown man helping Brian Kelly keep a job.
Yeah. For a couple years.
Man, I don't know, though. I mean, Missouri has been saved. They only got ranked this past week, so they could get a ranked match versus LSU in the SEC. I mean,
that
is point blank.
That is for TV.
Missouri's trash. That's all I have to say about it. I watched the game and I kept thinking, I don't care how much Missouri's up by, LSU's still going to win the game.
Yeah.
Dinkowitz or whatever his name is. I don't even. What's their head coach's name?
Drinkowitz,
dumb, whatever. You know. Yeah. An idiot.
He is not.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, I don't think he's
LSU
a very good coach.
LSU just struggles really badly on defense, man. Like you take some of those guys that they had last year, like Ojulari, and some of those guys that are now in the pros. I mean, those guys, especially up front, were very, very, very talented. And It's just they're struggling really bad on defense. That's what's hurting them more than anything.
Yeah, talking about LSU's defense right here. Let's uh let's see if I can pull it up. Okay. LSU's games this season. First game of the year, Florida State gave up 45 points. Grambling, Mississippi State, they gave up 10 and 14. Against Arkansas, they gave up 31. Against Mississippi, they gave up 55. And then Missouri, they gave up 39. So you've had 3 games where you've gave up over 30 points and pretty much 2 games. Yeah, 2 games where you gave up over 40. I mean, they do not look good at all. Besides their offense. I mean, their offense is great. But, like, can their defense stop anybody? I don't know.
No.
And Missouri or Mississippi State's probably the worst team in the SEC this year. One of the worst. Them and Vandy. They're
Yeah, I was
pretty
gonna say
bad.
Vanderbilt is still alive.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, that Vandy is still alive. That is true. Maybe not for long. I want Tulane back in the SEC. Let's kick Vandy out. Actually, hold that. Let's keep Vandy in. Let them play Tennessee every year. Give us a free cupcake win every year. I'll be cool with that.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah,
But
I
then,
think that Vandy is going to be on our schedule of 3. Uh,
yeah,
Vandy, they'll keep the in-state rivalry, so we'll play them every year.
yeah, they'll keep that. They'll keep the Alabama game, and what do we think other than that?
I think they're talking South
Kentucky,
Carolina.
South
And I
Carolina.
think they're saying, I think
Man, I
it's going
feel
to
like
be
Kentucky would
South
be.
Carolina. I wish it was Kentucky, Florida, Alabama.
Cunha
Yeah,
just got
but that.
hit.
Yeah. By the way, everybody, if you see Sloop stressing over here, it's because the Braves are in the second game of the NLDS, and it's getting tight. Down 1 run, Acuna just got on board, and I think he's sweating right now. I think I see a couple beads of sweat bouncing off that beautiful bald head of his.
It
Um,
couldn't be because I tailed somebody's bet.
I don't know who you're telling bets on, but he must be a really smart bettor, especially since his locks of the week keep on hitting LSU -6. Um, but yeah, anyways, going to the next one, we had Alabama versus A&M at A&M. Tough place to play. I mean, that's just the 12th man is the 12th man. It is a tough place to play, even if it's like really cringe. And Alabama, they got it done. Jalen Milroe, he looked all right. He looked pretty good. It's almost like watching that game. Other than the discipline portion of Alabama, I'm like, Alabama might be back to the form that I thought they would be at this year. What'd you think about them, Christian?
Man, I don't know. That's such a hard game to pull really too much from. I definitely thought that Alabama was looked a lot better, but I still don't know how good Texas A&M is. And I can't because that Texas A&M team that where we're saying that we need to fire Cristobal got beat by that Miami team who just lost to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
And so it's like
So we're
I
saying
don't
fire Jim.
know. Yeah, Jimbo's not doing well, but I don't know how well, because even A&M, their fan base unbelievable, but the stadium, like the atmosphere there is unbelievable. But like they're playing a second string quarterback, their
Yeah.
starters out for the year, and
Yeah.
so it's like I know that A&M has all the athletes and the guys to do. They've got a bunch of 5-star guys and a bunch
Oh
of
yeah.
great athletes, but it's just so hard to pull too much from that game because I still don't know what either one of those teams are.
Right.
And I mean, at the exact same time, I still don't know what Tennessee is.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure that out.
It's a
Best team in the
weird
East.
year. It's a weird year in SEC and college football land. I mean, part of it's to do with the transfer portal. I think it's going to be more like this every single year, where it takes 4 or 5 weeks to figure. I mean, even more than that, figure out what teams are like, who's actually good, who's just played a decent schedule so far. It is very. It's not very often on your bye week though. that you get to see your next two opponents play each other, and I think
That's
that's
nice.
big for scouting purposes. I'm sure the Vols they all watch that game together. Um, and going back to Texas A&M, which is their next matchup, their front seven is just full of really good players. I mean, they're going to give us some trouble, even if they don't have a good game plan going into it or whatever. Like that, those guys are just good enough to, you know, get a sack, tackle for losses just on their own. So I definitely see they'll be making some plays. But what I did see that I thought, encouraged me from Texas A&M's their secondary did not look that good. So I think that's somewhere where we'll attack that, especially since they're going to be focusing on the run game shortly after our 4 weeks, 5 weeks of playing, because we're averaging what, like 160, 170 yards rushing every game. It's something insane.
Yeah, it'd probably be even more if we didn't just play awful down in Gainesville.
Yeah,
So,
terrible.
We got a full count.
Uh
oh Lord.
dude, he is stressing right now. He can't even think. What are we at? Sleep, give us a call.
3-2, 2 outs. Cunha on third, 4-3, bottom of the eighth. Austin Riley up to bat.
Austin Riley.
Pitcher's in the windup.
And here comes the pitch.
And the pitch. Oh, that's a bomb. That's a bomb. That's a bomb.
Oh.
That's a bomb, baby.
Dude, you can't draw it
Austin.
up better than that.
God almighty.
Austin Riley, 2-run home run, bottom of the eighth. Braves go up 5-4, and Sloop, go get you another little Debbie, baby. Go get you another one. God, that is an Austin Riley cream pie right there.
Austin fucking Riley. I don't care. Just hit a bomb. Oh my God. I'm gonna cry because I thought this was over. I thought it was over, and it's not. It's nowhere near close. Oh my God.
Oh, he's got to
man.
hold the
Oh.
baby to calm down a little bit.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
Grant.
Oh, Grant.
This is Grant.
What's up, Grant? Welcome to the Rocky
My
Top
bad,
Ramble.
Eddie.
Do you have anything to say?
Austin Riley, fucking bomb. How do you feel?
Oh my
Good
god.
thoughts.
Oh, cute baby, cute baby. Well,
Holy
that was
shit.
a good intermission brought to you by Little Debbie.
Brought to you by the Atlanta fucking Braves.
Jeez.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Well,
I think we'll just call it right there. Just call the pod right there.
no, we
Call
can't
it.
call. We haven't even talked about Tennessee versus Texas A&M. What?
Well, listen, we're going to talk about Texas A&M. I'm going to give you the recap of the Texas A&M Alabama game. I was
No,
blacked out.
stop it! Stop it!
Hold
Stop
on,
it!
hold on,
Stop
hold on,
it!
hold on. Jalen Milroe is playing like the QB that Nick Saban needs. What's that? Is it Jermaine Burton? Is that the wide receiver for them?
Tremaine.
He whatever his name is, he's a stud.
Yeah, he also punched a female running onto the field last year.
Well,
He's a piece of crap.
Well, he fits right in with the rest of the NFL then. Sunday NFL player. Their run game is still trash. Texas A&M, if they don't play that game at home, loses by 3 touchdowns. Us playing them in Neyland this week is a huge advantage for us.
It is. It always is.
I think Heupel won like 13 or 14 in a row at home.
Yeah.
So
once we start talking about streaks, that's when you lose them.
Well, they started talking about it last week, and that was the bye week, and we went undefeated against the bye again. So, no, I mean, it's not good. I mean, who's in the SEC? Who's the worst team in the SEC West? Arkansas,
Mississippi State.
Okay, Mississippi State, Arkansas, then A&M. Can we agree with that?
Auburn, then A&M.
Auburn.
Auburn played Alabama tight. That's gonna
So did
when
Texas
they play.
A&M.
Did A&M beat them?
No. Wait,
Have they-
Auburn or I don't think
Auburn.
they played. They haven't played. Texas and Texas A&M.
Auburn played Georgia.
Yeah.
Auburn played Georgia really close.
Yeah.
Auburn's not bad. Hugh Freeze is doing a heck of a job down there.
I don't know.
In my opinion, in that SEC West, you have Alabama.
Yeah.
Then, like right here, you have LSU,
And
and
Ole
I'll say that
Miss.
LSU SEC West last year. Then right below, then like those are like their own two tiers right there.
Yeah.
And then after that, you got a clump of Auburn, A&M, Arkansas, maybe. I like KJ Jefferson, big fan. So,
Yeah.
and then after that, you got Mississippi State. I mean, the SEC West is just
They're
Alabama's
down.
in the league. As LSU can kind of play with them every other year. I mean, I don't know. I mean, can we agree Alabama's best team in the SEC West?
Yeah, I think so for sure. I mean,
Are they
I would say
are they
Ole
in
Miss
the
is number 2,
Oh, I
and
forgot about
Alabama beat Ole
they're
Miss.
they're in that. Yeah, they're in there with that.
Yeah.
Have they played yet?
Ole Miss, Alabama.
No, Ole Miss, LSU,
Yes, Ole Miss beat them 55-49.
and then Alabama hasn't. Have they? What are the West games they've played?
Alabama has
Alabama
played
beat Ole Miss.
and A&M like last week, and then they've also beat Mississippi State. So they're still yet to play LSU. Arkansas plays Alabama this week at Alabama. And then they got.
I'm pretty sure Alabama beat Ole Miss already.
Yeah, they did.
Because I think it was like 24-14 or something like that.
Yeah, they beat
Or
them.
Lane.
Yeah. It is. Lane's doing a good job. They're staying. I mean, at Ole Miss, I feel like if you're a top 25 team every year, like you should be pretty happy. Like, that's a pretty cake job. Like, you just got to be pretty decent or to good, and then they're going to keep you around there. Like, he's not going to worry about nothing. He's just got to hang out with his 22-year-old girlfriend. But let's talk about some more SEC games real quick. Georgia, Kentucky exposed. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Another year, another Kentucky just getting exposed after 5 weeks. I mean, how many years can they go undefeated through the first 5 weeks and then just be terrible the rest of the year? I mean, we're going on like 10 years of it now. I mean, it's ridiculous. I hate seeing Kentucky hop because of that reason, because they play nobody, and then they play somebody, and they can't hang.
There were analysts out there that said that this was the toughest game Georgia had left, and all I have to say to people is,
they don't know ball.
You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Go ahead and hire anyone else to do your job, because Stoops, I think Stoops was ready for that game. I don't even know what the running back's name is. Sugar Ray is what they've been calling
Ray
him.
Davis.
Baby Ray, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He might have been ready for it. Their quarterback is the spitting image of a Dollar General Will Levis. to be a Dollar General Will Levis, you're already trash.
He's a
to
great
be compared
value.
to Will Levis, he's bad. He's bad. He is really, really bad.
Make him.
I don't even. They're a fraudulent team. Georgia looked like Georgia because Kentucky is just straight trash. Georgia did not look good because Georgia decided, I'm going to be Georgia again. No, they looked like they dominated a FCS team.
Yeah. Well, while we're talking about Kentucky, I would like to read off the rest of their remaining schedule. They have Missouri, which, it'll be Kentucky versus Missouri. That'll be a pretty evenly good match game there. They're both kind of, it's like pretty much a bowl game. And then Tennessee, they play us October 28th after their bye. And then Mississippi State, then Alabama, then South Carolina, then Louisville. So, I mean, if you're Kentucky,
So you're saying 8-4?
I mean, dude, they're 5-1 right now, and there's only one game they have remaining that I think is like a for sure W for Kentucky, and that's Mississippi State. Like, you can go to a Mississippi State game right now for $10. Yeah,
that's a game they could lose. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they will. I think most likely what's going to happen is they'll lose Tennessee, Alabama, South Carolina, Louisville, and then finish the year 7-5, typical Kentucky season. Um, but yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen to them. That's a. I mean,
They
they do this every year. This is how their schedule's set up every year, and they need to change it because it doesn't benefit them to play like this.
No, it doesn't benefit them at all, and I think that Missouri's going to have a good chance to beat them. You
Huh?
know, the big thing is with Kentucky, and you really got to see it against Georgia, is they are very, very one dimensional. They
Yeah,
can only run the football very well, and you sail out, stop the run, and make the quarterback beat you. And right now, he's proven that he can't do that for whatever reason.
yeah.
I mean,
Missouri's got good
he
defense. Well, I mean, Jay Daniels started them up, but I feel like Missouri's got a pretty good defense. They at least
they
got
do,
good
and the
athletes
thing
on the
is,
field.
what sucks about the Devin Leary kid for Kentucky is 2 years ago, he was the ACC Player of the Year at North Carolina State and had a devastating injury. And I mean, he was a great quarterback. I remember watching him play there. And whenever Kentucky got him, I was like, well, he's going to be better than Will Levis. But he struggled this year. I don't know if it's been because he had to take so much time off from the injury or what it was, but he's a good play. He was a really good player, and to watch him struggle. I mean, if he could have just played decently, the other night, Kentucky could have still been in that game against Georgia.
Yeah. No, not really. Um,
He missed two touchdowns. He missed two touchdowns that
well, they
were,
did get beat
you
51
know,
to like 14.
yeah. But I
Listen, I'm
mean,
gonna tell
you
you,
also got to.
if you miss two touchdowns, because I know what you're talking about. If you miss two touchdowns the way he did, you're not an SEC quarterback. You're literally Dollar General Will Levis.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just a couple years ago as ACC Player of the Year. He had a great year at North Carolina State, and to play the way he's playing now is just not. It's not good.
It's tough.
So what you're saying is SEC ball is just different from ACC ball.
I mean, yeah, everybody
Sure.
knows that. Everybody
Most of the
knows that.
community,
Well,
or Devin Leary.
No.
Devin Leary apparently doesn't know. He thought he could leave the ACC and then come to the SEC.
well, while we're talking about schedules and stuff, I want to talk about Missouri's too, because Missouri's schedule sets up similar ways. Their next 5 games is
What's
versus
that? What's the record?
Kentucky.
What's the record?
They're
What's the
five
record?
and one, exactly like Kentucky. This is the
Okay, okay.
this is the first week they've played a team that's like been breathing. I mean, Kansas State, they were ranked 15 when they played, but Kansas State has not looked good all year, and they're not near the same team they were last year. So it's not like they beat Kansas State of last year. It's this year's Kansas State. Anyways, they're 5 and 1. They just lost to LSU. Next game is going to be at Kentucky. The game after that versus South Carolina. The game after that at Georgia. The game after that versus Tennessee. The game after that versus Florida. And then you finish at Arkansas. So, like, that's a 5 game stretch right there where I don't think. I mean, if Missouri does not beat Kentucky, I don't see them beating South
They
Carolina
have two. They have 2 wins left on the schedule.
maximum.
Arkansas and what was the other one?
Either Kentucky or South Carolina or Florida.
South
It could
Carolina.
be Florida, I
Have they
guess.
played?
Who? Yeah, they played Vandy. They
Yeah,
beat
they played
Vandy.
them. Both
They
of them
beat
have.
Vandy 38-21.
Oh
So
my god.
yeah, I mean Vandy's been scoring the ball on teams this year. I don't know. Their quarterback's pretty good. Um, but I mean, if you ain't got nothing around you, you ain't got nothing around you. But yeah, Missouri and Kentucky, both 5 and 1, both could probably finish with 7 wins or less. Maximum 8 wins for
Yeah.
those 2 teams. I feel like. I mean, I
I
feel
got
like
I
they're
got
Yeah, I
eight to
think
Missouri.
six
yeah.
win teams.
I got Missouri winning two more. What was Kentucky? How many did you have Kentucky winning?
I had Kentucky beating. Let me go back to it. I had Kentucky beating Missouri and maybe and Mississippi State, and then they also have South Carolina. So Kentucky maximum, I would say they have 3 wins.
Yeah, I'd give
So
them
that
because
would
I
be at
think that
8-4 at the ceiling because I don't think they'll beat us. They're not going to beat Alabama. And they're not going to beat Louisville with how Louisville's playing because Louisville looks pretty dang good because they beat Notre Dame this past week by a couple by
Yeah,
like 10, I think, 10-12.
yeah, they look good this weekend. Louisville did that, and that's a out of that South Carolina, you got South Carolina, Kentucky, and Missouri, and all three of them got to play each other. And I could see that. I don't think South Carolina's going to lose to both of them. I don't think Kentucky's going to lose to both of them, and I don't think Missouri's going to lose to both of them.
Yeah, I could see that all
So
split, and they're about the same
that's
team,
a
like evenly matched.
they're all pretty evenly matched in there, and
Yeah,
so I mean they're going to win one, lose one, and all of that, and you just got to kind of figure out where it's going to happen at.
yeah. And then throwing it over to another opponent, I just like looking at this outlook because I think of some of these teams that we're about to play or that we got upcoming on our schedule, their records are they're more so of a bluff. But A&M, our next week opponent, they have on the schedule next is us, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. That's probably a for sure win. Then they play Abilene Christian at the end of the year. That's another one, and then LSU to end the year. So they also
Yeah,
have a pretty tough schedule. Like if they want to be a 8-win team, like they're gonna have to they're gonna have to beat us. Like
they got three. They got three on their schedule.
yeah, South Carolina, Mississippi
They got
State, Abilene. That leaves them with 7 wins on the year. They lose to us, Ole Miss, and LSU. They're 7-5.
They're gonna fire Jimbo and hire Dion.
That'd be terrible. Don't say that. Um,
I hope not.
but yeah, I mean these teams, and I think not only does it like it's not a good look for these teams that they've started off great. Now the back end of their schedules are tough, but that's going to make them like our game versus like especially Texas A&M is going to be make it or break it for Jimbo Fisher and the Aggies this year. Like if they don't beat us, they're not getting to a decent bowl. Like they're getting one of the crappy bowls this year, and that's just how it's going to end up. But if they do beat us, then
That's kind of that's kind of where they're at for the rest of the year. I mean, if they beat us, then it's still the next game on their
That's a double
schedule,
play.
and
That's it.
Sloop's
That's
got the.
ball game. Braves W.
Are they tied in the series? Up in the
That's
series?
tied 1-1.
Mm.
Bryce Harper can. God Almighty. We just they hit a deep bomb. Harris robbed him. Harper got greedy, slid into second, threw him out at first. Oh, like,
oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Michael Harris, Atlanta stud. All right, I'm done with the Braves now. I'm done talking about the Braves. That's a W. Go ahead and mark us down for the World Series. Go.
Uh-oh.
wow. I mean, good tell on Tim Tom's bet tonight, huh? Had you stressing out.
If
But
the
hey,
Packers if the Packers win, I'll give you a.
nice. You guys heard it. He'll give me a forehead kiss if the Packers win tonight. We hit
Huh?
this. What?
Packers should win. I would think that the Packers are going to win tonight.
They weren't the
What's the score to that?
favorites.
What's the
I've
score to
got
that
it
game?
up, but it's on commercial. Let's get back into football. I say we go ahead. We've talked enough about surrounding SEC teams, some matchups, stuff like that. How the SEC looks like it's going to play out this year. Let's go into this Tennessee Texas A&M matchup. Sloop, you got anything you want to start off with this? Any opening remarks for this matchup?
Um, like you, I'm gonna add on to what you said earlier. Jimbo knows this is a hot seat. Going on the road to a hostile environment. I think A&M sees this as a winnable game. I mean, if I was an A&M fan,
Yes,
I know
definitely.
how I am Tennessee fan. They see this as a winnable game. So going on the road in Neyland, you win this game. I think that this this sets you up the rest of the season to have a great year. Not a obviously not a college football playoff year, but a great year for a Jimbo Fisher Texas A&M team. So you look at um, him coming into here. I think that he's going to go balls to the wall to try and win this game. I think he's going to pull all the stops out. Um, I think that A&M, as much as I've watched them, or as little as I've watched them this year, they're a chunk. They're a chunk play team. Like they try to get their when when they when they when they have positive yardage, it doesn't come in like twos or threes. Like it comes in bunches. Like that's the only way they can get yardage, in my opinion. They don't just methodically march down the field or anything like that. Like they have to get, you know, 15, 20-yard plays. So I think if we can limit those and, force them into situations that they're not comfortable in, like third downs, long third downs, and we're getting off the field on those, I think it's a win for us. I like, guys, I'm going to be honest. I don't, this game's going to be won. We're either going to win by multiple touchdowns or we will lose in a tie game. I don't see us lose. I don't I don't see Jimbo coming in ready. I don't see that offense coming in ready. I don't see anybody being ready for the noise of kneeling on 3:30 CBS kickoff on Saturday. So that's just my opinion.
I think it will be interesting. I don't know this for sure, but this might be Jimbo's first time at Neyland after being a. I mean, he's coached in college football for a long time. And this might be the first time that he's set foot in Neyland, so that'll be interesting to watch. Um, Couple of like stats here, pretty evenly matched going into this lineup here. Tennessee averages 235 yards passing. Texas A&M averages 275. Pretty close to the same thing. Tennessee, I guess this is right. Holy crap! I didn't realize it was this much. Averages 231 yards rushing. A&M averages 144. Yards allowed. Here we go. A&M's got a pretty good rush defense. They average giving up 84 yards a game. Tennessee averages giving up 115 yards a game rushing. Now A&M's pass defense a little bit better. If you're a Tennessee fan, they average giving up 184 yards a game. Tennessee averages giving up 192 yards a game passing. So stat wise, this game is pretty straight even going into this game here. Um, I think we got the leg on them. And quarterback play, I don't think uh, Johnson, their backup that's came in, I don't think that he is. I mean, I think he can be really good, but I mean, he's a backup and he's just now coming in, and he didn't play well last week. So I think we got the leg up when it comes to quarterback. I think they have better receivers than we do. They definitely have a lot of athletes on offense, that's for sure. That's the one thing that really scares me is because their secondary is really bad at tackling, and they got a lot of really good athletes that get the ball. Um, but rushing game, we definitely have them on the rushing game. We got two rushers that have more yards on the season than their best rusher. Um, and ESPN matchup prediction has Tennessee at a 56.8% favorite to win the game. So, I mean, I think the Vols can do it. I think it'll be, if we can run the ball on them efficiently, I think that'll be the name to success, just how it'll be for every game this year. That's just how our team's built. Um, but if Texas A&M, if that front seven shows up and gives us fits, then we have to start airing it out. We can do it, but that's what makes me a little worried as a Vol fan. Christian, what do
That's
you
my
think we'll
biggest
do?
concern. Yeah, that's my biggest concern is whenever we went to Florida and played a decent front seven, we got absolutely shut down in the offense. I'll be honest with you, I don't feel good about this game this week at all, even though it is at home, because this is one of those games that is going to go completely on Joe Milton's shoulders. to he's going to have to will us to victory, and he's going to have to play his best game as of all to be able to win. And you know my thoughts on Joe Milton, and I don't think that he's going to be able to do that because where the biggest discrepancies are is it is strength on strength and the rushing attack versus their rush defense and their front seven. Having Cooper Mays back is definitely going to help in that regard from being at Florida. And I think that our offense is going to be able to move the ball some, but I'm not feeling confident in the fact that Joe Milton will be able to basically will us to victory because the where the big plays are going to be made at, and where the plays that we're going to have is going to come through the passing game to be able to then open up the running game. Where a lot of times, our offense is really set up, run the ball to then open up the passing game. I feel like you kind of have to work that in reverse with this team that we're going up against this week. And so he's going to have to be able to put the ball in the money. And you saw that some last year with Hendon Hooker. Whenever we would play some teams, we'd have to throw the ball to then be able to open up the run game. And if we can do that, then like Sleep said, we'll win by a couple scores because they're not going to be able to keep up offensively with how well that we can score it. But it's going to come down to can Joe put the team on his back? And if he can start out like he did against UTSA in that first half and throwing the ball that way, and then we can really get into running, they're going to have to, we get them into like some nickel packages where they've got an extra, DB on the field and get them into some, six, like get those wider splits that we do with our offense, then I think that we've got a chance. But it's at first their front seven is going to probably dominate our front seven on offense. I feel like
Yeah. Part of that I feel is like the battered Tennessee fan syndrome that we all have.
probably.
I mean, it's just you got to expect the worst. Um, but I mean, this is a game. We're in the third year of Heupel. We're coming off a really good year. We've got good players. We've got good depth this year. I mean, this is the game that you're supposed to win. I mean, it's Texas A&M coming into town. They're unranked. They definitely got some weaknesses to them, and we need to be able to win this game if we want to be the type of team that we think we're capable of being. Uh, but yeah, I mean, Texas A&M definitely athletically more than capable of hanging with us all game. That's no question. They have the players. It's do they have the game plan, the coaching, and how bad does Nealand affect them, and how quickly can we get our offense going? Because I think that's the big key. Like what you were saying, Christian, is like if it's Florida and we putter around for a half and get behind, our offense this year more so isn't really going to come back from too much. I mean, we need time to work. We need time to run the ball, set up the plays we want to set up. Last year we were a lot more big play oriented. This year we're kind of just like chip and putt down the field, and then we'll score there at the
Yeah,
end. Sleep. How do you think
I
this
like that.
game's going to turn out? Oh, go ahead, Christian. Go ahead.
I like that Thornton's back though.
Yeah,
He's supposed to be a
big
full
fan.
go this weekend, so that'll help. I mean, I love Brew. Brew was a great leader, and I think that he was the best that we had. But they say that Thornton guy can absolutely fly. So you've got Thornton, he's 6'4" too. He's a big guy, but you got Thornton and Squirrel out there that can really extend the field. So I'm hoping that having him out there, maybe we can find a way to get a couple, like we talked about a few weeks ago, get two running backs on the field at the same time, get Sampson and Jalen Wright out there at the same time. That would be awesome. Just kind of mix up some looks that we haven't gave all year because it's been weird. We always run those like last year. We ran those very wide splits, and I mean we've still been spread out pretty far, but I just feel like we haven't been as far out there and sometimes going at the tempo that we did last year. And I'd like to really see that. If we can do that, I think that we can win this game because I really truly believe when our offense gets going, it is so hard to stop. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter who's back there playing quarterback or anything. It's got to get going.
yeah. Sleep, what do you think about this upcoming matchup here? What do you think's a big key?
Um, we got to get off the field on third down. That's huge for the defense. And then I think that I don't really care about their run defense. I think that our offensive line. I don't think they've seen an offensive line like ours yet. I think that we've
Alabama's
got to. Huh?
Alabama's offensive line.
I think our offensive line's better.
Yeah, that's
I don't
fair.
think Alabama. I don't think
They
Alabama's right.
haven't been
I
near as
think
good as they have in the past this year. That's
no, and
for sure.
I think that in the year coming into the year, Alabama wanted to be a run heavy offense, but I think they've realized they can't do that because their offensive line's not great. I think our we've got our rush attack's got to be on par with what it's been all year, and I think it will. I think our backs are too good. Getting off the field on third down, and letting our rush attack be what it was all year. I think that that's huge. And then I think that we've got to we've got to limit our mistakes both ways. Like make the simple play as a corner out of all our corners. You got to make the simple play. Get your stops that you can get.
Wrap
Let
up.
our fans let our fans make all the noise they want, so that they're behind the sticks. I don't think that A&M's ready for what they're going to experience in Neyland on Saturday. I don't think they're ready for it. Prediction: I'm gonna go 48-23 Vols.
48-23. Sheesh.
Whew.
Um, Before I get my prediction, there's one more thing. D'Amico Slaughter should be back this week, so that's huge for our secondary. He's a pretty dang good player. Um, he's my favorite player that we have in the secondary, and I'm glad to see him back. He's definitely our best tackling DB. There's no doubt about that. Um, and we need him back, especially for a game like this week. I think Texas A&M, contrary to what Luke says, I think they are ready for how loud Neyland's going to be. They play a pretty tough stadium themselves, so they know what noise is like. They've also been to Alabama, been to Auburn, been to LSU for the last couple of years, so they definitely know what that's going to bring. Think it's going to be a top one, but I think, and the reason I think this is because the end of that South Carolina game, South, if we go 3-and-out and have to punt it again, it gives South Carolina a chance. But no, we drove it down their throats, wasted about 8 minutes off the clock. I think we do something similar to Texas A&M, stay in control with the ball in our hands, and beat them 31. I'm gonna go 31-27. So win by 4.
Covering the cover
Covering.
the cover on the spread.
Covering, yes. Winning by a lot, no. It's going to be a close game, in my opinion. Christian, what do you think?
I'm just very nervous about their front seven versus our front seven on offense. Because, I mean, if you go back and look at the rush yards that we do have in the games, and you go back, all of the teams that we've really put up the numbers against, South Carolina, their defensive front's trash. Virginia, absolutely terrible. UTSA, not very good. And you go back and you just start listing all those teams that we have, put up the rush numbers against. And then we go to Florida. I don't think Florida's very good, but the one bright spot that Florida did have was their front seven. I think that this front seven's even better than the front seven at Florida. So it's going to be a huge test for our line and our offensive guys on the ball, and it makes me nervous. It makes me very, very nervous in that. I think that defensively, that we're going to be able to get pressure. We're going to bring some blitzes. We're going to be able to get home a few times. I think that if we can hold some stuff up in the secondary and in the back end, that we are going to be able to compete with them. But I see it being a lot lower scoring than what I would like for it to be, because I would like for Tennessee to really get their offense going. And I hope that I'm completely wrong about this, but I've got A&M winning probably 34-31.
41.
And I hope I'm
What
wrong.
would you just say? 40.
I have A&M winning 34-31.
While we're after that, Tyler, is Christian the biggest negavol you've ever met in your life?
No, my dad's pretty bad.
I'm very realistic because I've
Yeah.
not seen it yet. I've been there with the orange colored glasses on, and whenever we went to the Florida game this year, I told everybody, I said, I just don't feel good about it. I don't know what it is. I don't feel good about it. And I felt the exact same way about this week. Going into the South Carolina game, I said, I think that we've got them, but I think it is going to come down to Joe Milton. Little did I know that their defensive front and front seven was not very good, and so we were able to run it for almost 300 yards.
Yeah.
So,
Their offensive line is trash.
yeah, and we sacked him 6 times. So, you get to the place of now, yeah, you get to the place of now where you've got a team that's got, I think that we're going to outcoach them because I don't think Jimbo's that good. I really don't. I mean, you had all the athletes that he had last year, and what's his name, A Chain, that's down there at Miami doing what he's doing, and you went 4-8. Like, I mean, I don't think that Jimbo's that good. I just think that I don't know if we have the guys up front to be able to compete with their front seven on defense.
All
I
right,
think
so
that where the
go ahead, finish out your thought. My bad.
I think where the plays are to be made are going to be on the outside at receiver, and it's going to come down to can Joe do it? Because I think that they'll play a lot like what these other teams have played. They'll stack the box, load the box, and put 2 high safeties over the top and say, okay, we're not going to let you get beat a steep. We're not going to let you run it, but we'll let you throw this 15-yard touch pass across the middle all day if you can do it. And Joe still hasn't proven that he can do that yet.
I think you make some fair points, especially when it comes down to their front seven versus our run game. And I think that's just where the game's going to be won. If we can run the ball on them, we're going to win. If we can't,
I agree.
it's going to be close. I don't think we get beat by a lot by this team. I think we have better coaching. I think we have close to the same amount of players. Close to the same amount of skill of players. But it's just going to come down to that front seven, like you're talking about. Like if we can run the ball, we will be fine. Like I believe 100%. It's SEC ball.
We can run
That's how it is. Rarely do you see SEC teams that are really good that can't run the ball. I mean, as long as since the '90s. I mean, before that, it's all been about running the ball. Even during this pass first offense. I mean, you've seen like the late great Mike Leach come in the SEC, be a great coach, but like just could never hit that tier of SEC team because they weren't great at running the ball. They were just really good at passing the ball. Kind of the same way with Ole Miss, although they do have a pretty good running back. He just doesn't get the ball that often. Alabama, great at running the ball. Georgia, great at running the ball. Those are the teams you want to be like, and that's the team. We'll have to run the ball to be like those teams. Sloop, you got any final remarks on this matchup?
Yes, Christian said that he's wore the big orange glasses. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's only one way to live life, and it's with the big orange glasses on 24/7. There is no taking those bad boys off. In 2019, 2020, and 2021, I said we were going to win the national championship, and I was bold-faced wrong. And I'm going to tell you right now, I will never predict us to lose a game as long as I wear the big orange glasses. Josh Heupel's my coach. I'm going to take him, and I'm going to say, buddy, I'm following you. We're winning this game 48-23. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to go ahead and give you my prediction for the rest of the season. Big W's all the way down. Don't care who they are. Don't care who we play. We're going to win. There's only one way to live life, and it's with those big orange glasses. Guys, what's that guy's name from Powell? that plays for them.
Oh, dude, I was thinking of him earlier whenever we talk about their front seven. I was like, dang, that's one guy I really wish we had in Knoxville right now. I
Who is
forgot
it,
his
I
Christian?
name.
know.
He's 5-star out of Powell. Like, that should have been our. Like, he should have been the
Yeah, but
Tennessee kid.
he moved around a bunch. He started in Texas and then came up to like one of those big academies out there in Nashville, and then moved to Powell. So he moved around a
Still
lot. He
though,
was
still
kind
though,
of
still though. I mean, he's in Knoxville in high school, and he's a 5-star. Should have got that guy. Like, that's when you
yeah.
got to feel bad about not getting.
I can't remember, but he's big, dude. He's
He,
very big.
yeah.
Walter Nolan.
What
Yeah,
is
that's
it?
him.
Yeah.
Walter Nolan. Is he
And,
good? It's like
and
is he having a good career for
interior
them?
interior D line, I'm pretty sure, right? He's pretty good.
Is he having a good year for them? Like
He's playing on
I
the. Think he's playing defensive end. I haven't. Like I said, I barely got to watch him. Last week was
yeah.
really the first game that I got to watch him.
4 sacks,
And
11 solo tackles.
I mean, that's pretty dang good through 5 games.
yeah,
11
6
assists.
games. That's
so
pretty good. Defensive lineman putting up those numbers. So he's got a homecoming this week. I'm sure he's going to have a lot of friends at that ball game.
Yeah, they'll be UT fans.
Yeah. I hope everything goes how we want it to. I think it will, but we've got to show up. We can't pull another Florida type of game where we drag around for one half.
Get sick
And
and
I
tired
think
of
that
playing up Florida. I'm sick and tired of it.
Well, dude, whenever you
We
lose
don't-
a game you're not supposed to lose, that's what happens. You
Well,
bring it up all
it was on
year.
the road. I'm sick and tired of bringing it up. We quit, please. It was a
No,
mistake.
I mean the one.
I can't.
Samson
I
the ball.
can't. That's your bag fumble. That's your bag fumble,
At
dude.
the one big point and like the one big positive that everybody's brought up though is it is in Neyland, and you know that is a very 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 good point to bring up because Neyland is a very hard place to play at. Definitely at a 3:30. You know, our checkerboard stadium. You know that's a big point in the game. I'm not going to lie. But it just scares me a lot with their front seven because whenever that Walter Nolan kid, you know, with the stats that he's put up, I mean, they're running him in and out all the time from the game that I got to see. And so they're just got a lot of depth in that front seven on defense. And it just scares me because I've yet to see our offensive line really just overpower a lot of teams. Like even against Austin P, they struggled a little bit,
Yeah.
and it just scares me. That's the biggest thing. Do I think that we could win? If I have my orange colored glasses on, what would I say? I would say that we win 43 to 31, 43-33, or something like that. I mean, we're going to give up some points because we score so quick that our defense. We're going to give up some points. That's just part of being in an offensive first base system. And it's just we really need to really set the tone and really be able to like have that chance. We really need a turnover. We need to win the turnover battle. We need to win, we need to get off the field on third downs. We need to have those we need to hit a couple shots and we need to be able to throw the ball, 15 yards over the middle, throw a slant and a guy just take off with it and never quit running. We had that happen some last year. We just haven't seen it yet this year, and I hope they can do it.
Do we know if Frank's going to the game?
I don't know if he is or not.
He
Are you going, Christian?
I don't know if I am or not. I am going to Knoxville that day, but I have not.
Frank will be with you.
Frank will probably be in Knoxville at some point on Saturday, yes. But about going inside the stadium, Frank has not bought a ticket yet.
Tyler, are you going to the game?
No. I'll be in Middle Tennessee doing my thing. Yeah. Sorry about it. But the Modern Warfare 3 beta is live this week,
Stop it.
and
Stop it.
that's all I'll be doing. I'm sorry. I will get off to watch the Tennessee game and then be right back on that. If anybody in the Rocky Top Rambles interested in watching cracked out gameplay from like the best Call of Duty player that you'll ever see, just go to
Make
twitch.tv
sure you
slash
tune in to
Timtall.
Snoop Dogg 123. You're
No,
right.
do not do that because you will be upset at what you just saw. But if you come to
Yeah.
my gameplay, it's probably the purest, most beautiful, elegant type of Call of Duty gameplay that you'll ever see. No free shout outs, but shout out Tim Tom.
I think they ought to go watch Fatty Landon 33
No,
and
no,
and see what he's got.
no. They don't need to hear nothing from him. Don't need to see nothing
Oh,
from him.
they need to hear everything from
No,
Fatty LB.
no,
President of the States needs to hear what he has to say.
no.
They
All right,
they
let's change the subject. I'll leave the Tennessee game off with this. This is
grenade
a
launchers, RPGs,
right shield.
riot shields, claymores.
All right.
Hey, if you want to see
Back
some
on
cracked
track.
up gameplay,
Back on track.
We're rambling.
Yeah,
Can we not
are
Rocky Top ramble?
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, we could ramble. We could talk about COD. You guys know I'm down for that. I just wanted to make this point right here. I know people say this all the time, and it's to be taken with a grain of salt, maybe. But this week is a must win. I'm gonna say it right now, a must win. If we lose this game, then you have serious doubts about this team this year. Because we got Alabama next, at Kentucky the week after that, and if you lose to Texas A&M at home, you can definitely lose to Kentucky away. And then we got Missouri at Missouri, and then Georgia. So I mean, we've got to win this game.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
And I think I've asked this before. Do you feel as if every single game we play is a must win at this point?
I mean, yes, but this game in particular, I feel like has more depth behind it. Because if you don't win this game, like you don't have it's not like Florida, right? Like you could say Florida was a must win, but in reality, Florida is not a must win because you had a UTS game right after, South Carolina game right after, where you're the heavy favorites in those. Going into the weeks after this Texas A&M game, we're not favorites against Alabama. We're not favorites against Georgia. Whenever it comes time to play Kentucky, we might not be favorites in that game. And then we play Missouri, who if we've lost to Texas A&M, Alabama, Kentucky, we wouldn't be favorites in that game. So that's the reason why I'm saying this one's a must win. But every game is a must win. I get that.
I just think that at this current moment, and I think that Josh Heupel's preaching this probably, we have to take it one game at a time because I mean seriously, I think that our guys are set. I think their eyes are set on a college football playoff.
Yeah.
berth, and I don't think it's out of the question to say that because the way that our schedule shapes out, we could be an 8-win team or we could be an 11-win team.
Yeah.
Anything in between that's possible as well. I just think that 1 week at a time, every game is a must win from here on out. I mean, you have to. They're not going to take a 2-loss SEC this year into college football playoffs. So I think that taking it 1 week at a time is the most important thing to do. If you look too far ahead, then you're going to get caught staring down the barrel of a loss. So
yeah, I agree with that. We got to stay focused at the task at hand, and it's time for us to be a top tier SEC program. I think Heupel's getting us there. I think this stretch that we're about to go on, Texas A&M at Alabama, at Kentucky, at Missouri, at Georgia, or versus Georgia at home. I mean, it's time to nut up or shut up. This is why you play ball.
Would this season be a success if we lost to Alabama but still beat Georgia at home?
So we finished 10-2?
Yep.
Finish 10-2, lose to Alabama? Yes. You beat the best team in
But you not,
college football. But
I didn't know we played Michigan.
shut up. But yeah, I think so. I think that's considered a success. I mean, even a 9-3 season, you have to be content with as a Tennessee fan. I mean, you have to look at where we've been
Absolutely not.
for 20 years.
I don't,
And to get upset at a 9-3 season is absolutely ridiculous. And I'll just go
what was
ahead.
our
I'll
record?
be the
What was
first
our record?
person to say that.
What was our
What?
record 20 years ago?
In 2003, we was probably like
Yeah.
9-3.
Okay, exactly. So nobody knows for sure. All I know is right now, what are we? 4-1.
Yeah,
So we're 4-1.
yeah.
Let's focus on the task at hand. I don't care about 20 years ago. I don't care
I
about
don't,
2 years
I'm
ago. I
just
care about
saying
this
that
season.
look
I care
like
about this season. I'm going to tell you right now. If we do not end the season with 10 wins, this season is not a success. We came in.
I mean, sure, yeah,
We came. I mean, how many games did we win last year? 10.
yeah.
You
Well,
have. You
11
have to.
if you count the bowl game.
We won 11 with the bowl game.
We have to. We need to continue on that step. Anything below 10 is taking away from. Because I don't care. I don't care what we did 20 years ago. Yeah, I care as a Vols fan. Like, I lived through the Jeremy Pruitt era. We were so freaking bad.
Yeah,
But I don't really care. I'm not there anymore. Josh Heupel won how many games his first year?
7. Well, 8
How many?
counting the bowl game.
So yeah,
7-6.
Wait, no. I don't think he won the bowl
They
game.
lost the ball game.
Yeah,
They
I was
lost the
there.
ball game. 7-6. 7-6 the first year.
10-2
11
or
11-2.
11-2. Yeah.
2 last year.
Oh, we've only went up. Why would we take anything down?
I mean, to
Anything.
the
you
guys in the
also
locker room, I'm sure they don't feel like it'll be a successful year unless we make the SEC championship.
And I think that we should be on that same page as the guys in the locker room and Josh Heupel. I think that he thinks that
Yeah, I
we
feel
should be in
that.
the championship. I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
going to sit here as a
also
I'm not going to sit here as a couch fan and say, oh, I'm okay with 9 wins. That's a great. No, I want 10, 11, and 12 wins. I think that any double-digit win season you can get that's not including a bowl game is a successful year for the program because that means you are a win away, especially in the SEC. That means you were a win away from being there. You were a win away from being in the Big Show.
yeah.
I mean, hell, we beat South Carolina last year. We're in the Big Show. We are in the college football playoff. I mean, we're just in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
I mean,
had
and after this, you can talk 10-win teams getting into an 18 playoff.
Yeah, I definitely feel like. Yeah, I mean that's definitely possible after this year. 10-win
I
team
had
getting
us
in for sure.
coming into the season probably at 8-4, 9-3 this year. I knew that we'd take a step back. I knew that we'd regress a little bit. And I mean, that's nothing on some of the players, but you just got to look at what we lost. I
You got
mean,
to
you
look
look at
through
it.
big orange glasses.
Well, you gotta realize that we lost somebody that should have been in New York whenever they were presenting the Heisman Trophy, and a Blitnikoff winner, the first ever at the University of Tennessee.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but they don't make those players like anybody that thought Squirrel White was going to come in and do what Jalen Hyatt did last year, just because he's playing the same position, he's fast. That's not logical thinking.
it's not
The way that,
realistic.
yeah, and for like the unfair, like that's why I don't want to be unfair to Joe because I think that Joe's a good quarterback. But the unfairness to him is whenever you have a guy that is as good as what Hendon Hooker was and you have to play the year after him, that's tough, man.
It is.
That's so tough. That's so tough to come in there and play at that position because Hendon played it at such a high level. He is one of the greatest to ever put on the dang orange and white.
Yeah. Oh. Well, fellas, do y'all want to move on to some pick'ems? We could just do like SEC
I'm ready.
schedule if y'all want to do the SEC lineups for this week, and then maybe a big
I'm ready.
game or two. Let's get
Got
the.
you ready? You ready?
Do you have them all up, Sleep?
Yeah, I got them.
All right.
I'm just going to do the ones we talked about earlier.
Okay.
Oregon, Washington. Washington 2.5-point favorite.
I'm gonna go Oregon to cover.
Me and you both. I'm on the Oregon train.
Yeah.
I'm taking Michael Penix Jr. Bo Nix is trash.
Shout out Michael Penix.
Arkansas versus Alabama. Alabama 19.5-point favorite.
I mean, Alabama's gonna win. I don't know by how much. Probably they're gonna cover.
Yeah, I would take Alabama to cover that. It's at Alabama, it looks like. So
KJ Jefferson to cover.
You're delirious.
They're gonna
he's not
have
even.
that, and then we're gonna march into Tuscaloosa and beat.
It's gonna be 3rd and 9, and KJ Jefferson's gonna be running a QB power off the right tackle.
Sounds. What's their head coach's name? Christian
Pittman.
Sam Pittman likes cold beer. What?
Sloop's a part of the pit crew.
A&M versus Tennessee. Tennessee a 3-point favorite as of now. Probably will dwindle down to 2.5 on Saturday.
Yeah. If it goes
Got
2.5,
A&M to cover.
I'm betting. If it goes 2.5, I'm betting Tennessee. 3, I could definitely see it just being a 3-point game.
Tennessee alternate spread minus 14.5. Auburn versus LSU 11-point favorite. Hugh Freeze to cover.
Yeah, I'm gonna put Auburn to cover. They're gonna choose some clock, try to win as underdogs. Hugh Freeze is a seasoned coach. He'll get them in a close game.
Hugh Freeze is going to have a heck of a time in Baton Rouge. A lot of the women down there that he likes down there.
Taking motorcycle ride. What?
I like LSU in this game. I think that they're going to get back right. I know that they beat a Missouri by whatever, but they still haven't been playing their best football yet. And I think that I think that their offense is good enough to go ahead and beat this Auburn team.
Do you agree with me on anything?
No.
USC versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame a 2.5-point favorite.
USC.
I'm gonna let Christian go first, see if I can actually.
I just don't think that Notre Dame in their offense has enough firepower. Because of kind of the offense they run, I think that they've got some really good players, and I think they got one of the best running backs in the country. But I would take the reigning Heisman winner to win this, just because he is who he is, and USC's team can put up dang 60 on anybody.
Do they cover?
Yeah, USC by minus 2.5.
I don't think you can have a matchup that presents two polar opposite teams.
Yes,
like this one. I mean, the actual opposites of each other are playing against each other. And I'm not saying it'll actually represent this, but this is going to be a kind of full matchup between like old school football and new school football. And I'm excited to see it. Like, it's going to be interesting. Like, is Notre Dame going to be able to chew clock, keep the ball out of USC's hands, or is USC going to get the ball, score right away? Before you know it, Notre Dame's down 14 and they're having to play the West Coast style offenses. I mean, I know what Slim's thinking, but I mean, I could see it going either way. There's a lot of NFL teams still play that type of football and are pretty successful with it.
Notre Dame's been through a gauntlet too, man.
Yeah,
I mean, you look at like the last they played Ohio State, Duke, Louisville, and now USC.
What?
Yes. So they're 4 games in a row versus top 25 teams.
Right.
I mean, they've got to be
playing a schedule. What? No.
That's what happened. Getting a freaking division. That's what happened.
They gotta play. They gotta play like teams. What?
Anthony was actually crying in his girlfriend's arms right now.
Oh my gosh.
Sleep. I'm
USC,
sure you're taking
USC
cover.
USC covers that game without a doubt. Caleb Williams is too much. Mario Cristobal versus University of North Carolina. North Carolina favored by 3.5. I'm going to say that North Carolina. I'm going to say that North Carolina outcoaches Mario Cristobal. I think that if that was think that I don't care what anybody says. That man does not recover from whatever he did last week.
I think North Carolina covers before Miami sets foot in South Carolina if they take a bus ride or before they get on the plane. Either one.
Cristobal continues to take losses.
Yeah.
UNC would be North Carolina, Sloop. I don't know where you were going with that, but it is
Northern
North
Carolina. I mean,
Northern Carolina.
Yeah.
But yeah, your pick was at least good. Your pronunciation was piss poor, but your pick was good. I'm going to go with North Carolina -3.5. Mizzou versus Kentucky is the last one, -2.5. If it's me picking, I think that Mizzou's got too much firepower. I'm going to take a +2.5 on offense.
Kentucky's favored by 2.5.
Yeah, Kentucky's favored 2.5. I'm going to take Mizzou +2.5. It's at Kentucky, but their field's named Kroger Field or something. I don't even know. It's like going to the grocery.
Kroger's better than Food City. Period.
But hey, I'm not dissing. I'm not dissing anything. It's just their stadium's like going to a grocery store. It's not very loud in there, so
Got
I'm
a little
definitely
bit
going to
of
take
Waka
Mizzou.
Flocka playing in the background. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll take Kentucky to cover, actually. I think Kentucky's going to run the ball really well, and the clock's going to milk down, and then before you know it, there's 6 minutes left in the game. Missouri's down by 2 touchdowns, and their quarterback throws another pick, and then they don't get the ball back. So
here's a hypothetical. If Cristobal and Drinkowitz coached on the same coaching staff, how many coaching blunders would we get in a full season? There's 12 games in the season. I don't think they make a bowl game. So I'm going to say 6 again.
Who are they coaching for?
I don't care. They could be coaching Peyton Manning.
the bigger the team, the more blunders.
That's what I'm saying. The bigger the team, it would be unbelievable to watch them like with a really, really, really good football team. I would love to see it.
Yeah.
Cristobal, Matt Canada, and Drinkowitz walk into a bar. They can't figure out how to order a drink.
They're trying to game plan.
What is that?
You forgot the really, really big matchup of the week, though, Sleepy.
Hey, what is it?
The biggest match of the week, probably. 2 SEC giants going at each other. Number 1 ranked Georgia versus Vanderbilt. At Vanderbilt, got the home field advantage. Georgia players going to have some struggles getting onto the field, walking past the cranes, going through the cones. There could be some injuries. And
Vanderbilt.
What's that sound? Upset alert. Vanderbilt covers.
100%. I'm on the train of covering a 31.5 spread. CBS. I'm actually amazed this game gets a CBS 12 o'clocker. Jim Nance may still not be awake. I mean, I just go ahead and tell you. I'm taking Vandy to cover. Put him
Georgia.
Go
ahead. Sorry, my bad. I just had a thought.
Georgia -45.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, they kind of got it going last week.
Sure.
They kind of got it going last week.
How much of this?
Okay, and now they're playing Vanderbilt.
Dude, Vanderbilt at home, Christian. Vanderbilt at home.
You know how big
advantage
that is.
It's going to be a great advantage for Georgia to haul their ass up here and go get in their stadium and the whole thing being black and red.
Will there be more Georgia fans?
Then go to Broadway after.
It'll definitely
absolutely.
be 75% Georgia fans. And then the other 25% is going to be empty seats.
That's embarrassing.
Let's predict one more game, though, because I got a buddy in the chat that's a Memphis fan. Tulane versus Memphis. Who we got?
It's not even close. Penny Hardaway is going to lose this game. I'm taking Tulane.
I got to go with the Green Waves here. That's where my heart sits. Tulane, baby.
I was actually going to say this earlier whenever somebody was somebody brought up uniforms or colors or something about Texas. I don't know what it was, but Tulane has the best colors in college football,
They got cool
and
stuff.
He's on to something.
and I'm going with them. I'm going with Tulane. I like that team. I've not watched Memphis play a down of football ever. It'd be miserable to watch probably.
No, Memphis ain't
Um,
bad. Memphis
No, hold on.
is
They had
bad.
a stud. They had a stud white quarterback a little while ago.
That
Did they
Memphis,
not?
they
um,
had Mike.
Yeah.
They had Mike Norvell before he went to Florida State, and Memphis was actually a pretty dang good football team. And
They had a
then the
stud.
past, like last year and this year, like Memphis they're not bad. Like they could be a
they
pretty
would have.
good team if they gotten a better conference. I feel like that would put them on the map a little more. I feel like both of these teams actually, Tulane and Memphis, could become really good football teams.
They
They're
would have beat
two
us.
schools that are like that. Oh, when
Memphis would have beat
Norvell was
us in
there,
20
yeah,
when 2020 when we had Pruitt. I remember
yeah,
that.
yeah.
They were really good then, but I haven't kept up with them in the past couple of years.
No,
Nobody does.
Um,
I
but
mean,
hey, Tulane left the SEC. We don't want them back. Keep them out there.
yeah. I mean, they look they're like prime like Big 12 schools, ACC schools,
Yeah.
ACC schools. They fit right in. I'm telling you, ACC's
What
like
is
down
that?
to like what? Aren't they the conference that's almost gone? Or is
No,
it
that's the
Who?
Pac
Pac
12?
12.
Pac 12. Never mind.
I'm wondering what's going to happen to the ACC. Are they going to rename it to the Coastal Conference now, since they're brought
That
in teams from all the way over on the west side of
yeah,
like on the
that
west
I could
coast?
see that happening. Cause what they get? Like
They got like Washington and
Stanford?
yeah, yeah, Washington and Stanford maybe.
Riley
And
Ferguson. That's what I'm talking about. They had a white guy with like a
Right, yeah,
sleeve
yeah.
on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
26
think that
career game. 12,003 or sorry. 12 300 plus passing yard games. 400 plus four passing yard games. A 471 yard passing game in an AAC championship.
see where he started out playing college football.
Here, Riley Ferguson.
Was he at Memphis the whole time?
I don't know. I don't keep up with Memphis
I,
football.
I thought that he actually transferred from Tennessee. I thought he was on Tennessee's roster for a year and
I
then
Just
think
know
that
that
transferred.
sounds familiar. He's on the
he was
Dolphins
from
right now.
yeah. He came from Tennessee to Memphis.
That's what I thought. As soon as you
Was it?
said the name, I was like, I'm pretty sure that that was one of the guys that somehow Jared Garantano started over, and he was out at Memphis throwing for 600 something yards a game.
Whoa.
Well, if I
Don't be
remember correctly,
dissing on
Christian, weren't
JG.
you a
Don't do that.
JG lover?
I am.
I
Christian,
was,
Christian, I
I was.
hated that guy, dude. I hated
He's
him.
an NFL quarterback. All
I
right,
don't
let's not diss him
NFL quarterback. Okay,
on a roster.
Yeah.
on a roster.
Practice squad. His
Hey,
best practice. He's best practice player in America apparently because good God, he beat out everybody that went out. I think he beat out Michael Penix, who's still at Washington because Michael Penix was supposed to be coming to Tennessee at one point, so we got rid of him because we had Garantano. We got yeah. I mean, he gave up. We gave up every freaking starting quarterback in the country to take it. What's his name that started kind of the Clemson run? What was his name? Taj Boyd or something,
I,
whatever.
I don't talk about
Who
coaching quarterbacks.
I don't remember who all it was, but all during that time there were so many quarterbacks that tried to come to Tennessee, and while Clemson
Trevor
was in
Lawrence.
there,
Taj Boyd.
Trevor Lawrence, Taj Boyd, he might have been a little bit before,
He
but
was
Trevor
before
Lawrence was
that.
one of them we didn't get. Gosh dang, dude.
I
All right,
mean,
we're not gonna start
Garen.
on the JG train. We're not gonna do that.
All right, not going
Hey,
on that, but Jeremy Pruitt loved that man. That's for sure, and may have something to do with those Chick-fil-A bags.
I thought it
I think
was
it's McDonald's
McDonald's.
bags.
I was about to say he couldn't even afford Chick-fil-A.
Oh well, McDonald's bags.
All
He's
right.
down there coaching. He's down there coaching with his dad now
South
in
All right.
Pitt.
Hoover, I believe.
Oh, near South Pitt.
Yeah, it's somewhere near South Pitt. I'd say they got a really. I mean, I honestly, truthfully thought that Pruitt, like as a defensive coach, was very, very, very good.
Times are
But
changing now.
Yeah, it's just the overall blunder that he had with money and everything. If he'd just waited 2 years, could you imagine the recruiting classes he could have put together for NIL? I don't know. Now, he probably wouldn't have done anything with them,
Yeah.
but
I don't know. I hate to hate on coaches. Like I feel like I hate Butch Jones more than I do Jeremy Pruitt.
Absolutely not. I hate every coach that came before Josh Heupel, except for
Derek Dooley
Robert,
is by far
except for
the
Robert,
worst
Robert,
coach we've ever had.
except for Robert Nealon and Philip Fulmer. Every coach before Josh Heupel can get out. I don't want to talk about him.
I love Lane Kiffin. Love him.
That's a good joke.
Absolutely
All
love
right,
it.
and that's going to do it for the Rocky Top Ramble, sponsored by Little Debbie. We really appreciate y'all's support. Make sure you go and hitting that like button there on Facebook, going to the YouTube, hitting the subscribe button, hitting the like button on our video, and dropping a comment on what you think about Sloop's big bald head. All right, and I'll see y'all in the next episode. Give them some smooches, big hugs, tiny little kisses. Good night.